Fred was also on the Draymond Green show earlier this week.
Right.
And of course, the topic of the 2019 finals between the Raptors and the Warriors came up, and we can never pass up on an opportunity to revisit the championship season. So got a couple of clips here. Here is Fred talking about what it was like finding out Kevin Durant was coming back for Game 5 of the 2019 finals.
I just remember being in the locker room. I remember being in the locker room before Game 5, and it was like a little buzz, you know what I mean? Like, was he coming back? It was whispers that he was going to play. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he was going to play. Like, if he was close enough to play, we knew he was going to try it out. And I just remember, like, the conversation being like, all right, like, he coming back. We're gonna go at him. Like, you know what I mean? We're going to see what he got. And he came out and hit them first 4 shots. And I remember, like, ooh. I just remember being like, damn, like, oh my God, this dude is special. And I had a move on him one time, and I seen him, he was a little gimpy. And then the next time I think Serge went by him is when he went down. And then, man, it's just sad as a basketball fan. But we was like, all right, bro, we can't get no better gift than this. We gotta, if we don't win this, we're gonna have to live with this for the rest of our life. And I think that kind of gave us a little extra motivation to get it done.
Yeah, Will, I think how Fred described the feeling of seeing KD come back and how he played in the first quarter was really how all of us felt.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I think so, for sure. I think you get swept up in the moment. Again, I always have to remind people of this. The Raptors are only down 6 in the second quarter, despite the fact that he scored like 11 points in, I think, 12 minutes. Like, it wasn't like, okay, obviously, they're a way better team with KD, especially considering their depth, right? That's something also Fred talked about was he's like, to their face, essentially, like, honestly, without KD, we thought we were much better than y'all, which is exactly true. And as Fred said, and I love how Fred's able to be honest. He's like, you guys had Alfonso McKinney in your rotation, Cousins in your rotation, you know, like that works. Quinn Cook, right? Who was, you know, definitely lived up to his name, you know, with Fred in the fourth quarter of Game 6. But, like, you know, Fred was very honest about that. But, of course, with KD coming back, that would change things. However, like, the Warriors' depth problems were real that year. They struggled against other teams, even with KD in the lineup. And again, after that play, the Raptors were only down 6 with KD going off like to that degree. So obviously that would have, you know, it's a great what if for sure, but it's not, I don't know, the facts don't necessarily match specifically the outcome of the game. It's not like the Raptors weren't competitive. It's not like KD came back, the Raptors were down 20. That's not happen. That's not what happened.
Yeah, and I think Fred made a really good point saying that they were a better team than the Warriors without KD, especially in that first 4 games.
I predict the Raptors in 5.
Yeah, the Raptors could have easily swept that series. I was looking back at the first 4 games when the Raptors went up 3-1. I believe the Warriors won like 3 quarters.
Yes.
Like the Raptors won like the rest of the quarters. And it was clearly the first 4 games. The Raptors were the better team. Now, the conversation in the podcast went towards Draymond asking, well, Draymond didn't ask. Draymond thinks that the Warriors would have won if Klay Thompson didn't get hurt in Game 6. And here's Fred's response.
I don't agree with that, but at the same time, I could see that argument. You know what I'm saying? I could see that argument. He, like, him in those Game 6s, he got a super catalog of, like, those crazy games where it's hard to beat him. I felt like we were a much better team than y'all without Kevin. Because, you know, we had the depth and there were just certain matchups that we could pick on. And, like, some of the guys that y'all was playing in those moments wasn't like what we was used to seeing from the Warriors dynasty. Like, y'all was bringing some of those guys up to speed, whether it was like Alfonso McKinney, Quinn Cook, Boogie, like those was new guys to what y'all was doing. So we had specific things that we was hunting for in some of those situations. But, yeah, who knows? Nobody will ever know. Y'all can argue that. Y'all can argue that for the rest of y'all life.
V, what do you make of all this discussion? Because I think this comes up a lot when we talk about the 2019 NBA Finals, about all of the what ifs.
Alex, honestly, I'm so tired of it. I mean, someone's got to make a rule for Draymond that every time he says, what if KD was healthy and what if Klay was healthy, he's also got to say, what if Kyrie and Kevin Love were healthy that time they won their first chip? What if Chris Paul was healthy that time that they got past the Rockets? I mean, these things just happen in sports, and it's just a part of the game. And the fact that we're here in 2022 still talking about this, I mean, he's got to let it go at some point. He probably never will, knowing the type of guy he is. But at this point, I'm pretty tired of it.
Man, that's why we call him Spicy V, man.
Do we?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do. You don't.
Okay.
What do you call him?
Just V.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Vivek, yeah.
Sandals V. No, yeah. What if Kawhi stayed and the Raptors are going for
I
a
knew
four-peat
you were gonna
right
go
now?
there. I knew you were.
What if they were going for a four-peat right now? Anyways,
No, here's the last thing on this. I actually went through and looked at all the box scores again, just to double check. Out of the 6-game series, the Warriors won 5 quarters.
yeah,
Quarters in
That's-
6 games.
yeah. Toronto without
5 out of
KD,
24 quarters.
without KD on the Warriors, the Raptors were clearly a better team. So on that second point
Yeah.
about how the Raptors would have lost if Klay stayed healthy, I don't agree with that. I'm willing to entertain them coming back from 3-1 if KD stayed healthy. But back
Yeah,
to
sure.
V, I mean, this is just playing the what if game because you could do that for every single season in NBA history.
But that's the thing is, I don't want the title to be remembered as the year the Warriors didn't win because.
But that's
of the
not how we
injuries.
remember it in Toronto.
Of course, but only in Toronto is that we're called like that. I don't think the Raptors get that same kind of credit elsewhere. But I mean, listen, it is what it is.
Yeah, you've got your replica championship ring.
That's the thing
gonna
with
be there
Fred.
forever.
That's the thing with that's what Fred said. He's like, he can debate all you want, but like no, but he got the ring forever. So you can't take it away from him. I think it was the happiest moment, maybe of my life so far. Wow,